Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. We're back in Japan on our tour of Japan. We're in Hiroshima. And today we're flying down to Nagasaki on this first flight of the day out of here just before sunrise. Kevin's joining us. He's up at the other end of the field. And we'll be hearing him shortly on the radio as we get ready. So let's hop on board and get the aircraft powered up and ready to go. All right, it's been a while, so this could get interesting. Just trying to remember everything here. So, cockpit preparations are complete. Gear lever is down and confirmed down. Parking brake is set to on. We can now pop up top. And battery is on. External power is in and connected as well. We'll turn on the dome light. Make sure we have some light there. All right, just looking for any lights. And we are looking okay. All right, so with that done, let's get the boarding underway.
Boarding requested.
They're going to have to bus out here. And we'll get that set up. All right, so back up top we go. Again, you just got to remember where everything is on the aircraft. Nav lights are going to come on. Logo light will come on. We can do our warning checks.
Do you want a board crew?
No, we're already here.
Passengers bus is coming.
So we're going to do the squib test first, make sure that is set, and then we will do the fire test. There's fault, there's fire, and on the other engine, squib test is good, there's fault, and there's fire. Squibs are the little explosives that will explode and release the agent into the engine to extinguish the fire. So that's testing that the circuit is good. So gust lock is on. Prop brake, we're not going to use the prop brake. We're going to start on the stand and then we'll wheel out and head out. So the prop brake, we'll make sure the prop brake is off. And back over here, no devices, seatbelt signs are on, and emergency exit lights are armed, and windshield anti-ice is on. All right, off we go to the FMC. Let's get the right button. There it is. All right, so we still haven't gotten the
Passengers boarding starting.
data, figured out how to update the data in here, but that's fine. We'll use what we have. So position initialization. We'll come in here, we'll grab the GPS position, and that is now set. Nav data, as you can see, it's still on that May of 22. Don't know how to update that. It says current. Take it as it is. And we'll come over to the flight plan, into route. And today we are flying from RJOA to RJFU. So that's Hiroshima to Nagasaki. I'll enter that in and execute. So for our route, let me just pull up my sim brief. All right, so departing here from Hiroshima, we are going off on runway 28, and we are taking the Marco 2 departure, and we will execute that. You can see that brings us down to Marco, and that is all good. So from Marco, we're going to go on the Yankee 28 airway, and we are going to take the Yankee 28 airway to DGC. So we'll have to find that. there's Marco, there's DGC. So we'll enter that and we'll execute, we'll return. Because we got a couple directs after that. That's DGC. The next waypoint, we're on a direct to OHGIE. OHGIE. This is our next waypoint, and we'll execute that. And I believe that is it. As we're coming in on the Saruku arrival, we're going for runway 14. It'll be an RNAV. Alright, so next page. We'll come in here to here. It is the RNAV for runway 14. And it's the Saruku arrival. And that is done. Via. We're doing a via. Yeah, via Sarok, and we'll execute that. So we come into our list here. We look. There's our entry point. Clear that out. Execute. Let me just check our route here. And that is looking good. I'm having same issues with Navigraph again. Not exactly sure why. But we are there we go. So that is redone and set for that. So if we grab the weather here in Hiroshima, we can take a look at what we have currently. They're using a station 70 kilometers away, but you can see the winds are favoring runway 28, and skies are clear, 3021 on the Barrow. So the route's all entered in, and we are good. Go back to our menu, and that's our flight plan in. So in for our weight, zero fuel weight for today's flight is once in kilograms. So let me just grab that conversion. All right, so our zero fuel weight is 18,026. Fuel on board is 2,020 kilograms. There's our gross weight. Reserves for today's flight should be in the 383 area. 383 is correct. There's our trim and everything. We'll come back. There's our performance initialization. Cruise altitude today, we're going up to flight level 200. Alternate for today's flight has us going back to RJFF. RJFF, and we'll be flying there at 10,000 feet. And that is entered in. Return, and the units are fine. So that is all good. You can go over the flight plan. And VNAV. And we are good there. And there's our takeoff performance. 108, 108, 111. Transition altitude is going to be... let me get the departure. 14,000 feet. There we go. Alright, at this point we will call up ATC and get our clearance. There is no ATC online, however, so we will self-clear. And 122.8 is our primary frequency, and 121.5. Let's get that in. 121.5. Enter is going to be our secondary frequency, so that is set. And sounds like all the passengers seem to be on board.
We're on your time now.
Well, we're not. We're waiting on bags. All right, so any frequencies we need for departure, negative. We are good there, so that can stay there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
ADFs
welcome
are
aboard. This is
good.
your flight attendant speaking. At this time, please be sure to make sure all large carry-on
I'm
items
going to
are
switch
in the
on
overhead
terrain
bin, and
radar.
small items are underneath the seat in front of you. If you have any trouble or
And
need
we're not
any
using
assistance,
synthetics. We'll
please
come over
don't
to our
hesitate to let
squawk
the flight
frequency.
attendant
We're going to
know,
go
and we'll be happy
to
to help you. If the overhead bin is full, please make
1,000
sure you
on the
close it
squawk.
as a courtesy to other passengers. Please double check that all your
And
items are put away so that the aisle is
TCAS
clear
will
and other
be
passengers can make their way to
auto.
their seats. If you're in an
Put it on
emergency
standby
exit
for
row,
now.
please read the exit seating responsibilities in the
All
car
right.
and the seat back in front of you. If you're not able to comply with these actions, please let a flight attendant know so that way you
Baggage
can
is now coming on board.
You're free to use your
Let's take a
portable
look at our
electronic
route.
devices during the boarding process. We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
All right, here we are, just northeast of Hiroshima. We're going to be taking off to the west, flying down along the coast over the city, out over the bay here, and there's my navograph.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Again, just kicked
and
off. I
welcome
don't know
aboard
what's
flight
been going on with it.
5556.
We'll then be
Our
heading
flight time
down
will be roughly 1
this
hour
way
and 9 minutes.
to the
Please
southwest,
note the cabin doors now closed. We ask that you make
coming
sure that
down
all devices
into
are in
the
airplane mode and your larger devices are now
Nagasaki
shut down
area,
and stowed.
where we'll
If
be
you have
then
not
on the
already,
RNAV,
please
making
fasten
the
your
turn
seatbelt
down and
and
landing
verify
out
it is low
here
and tight across your
in
lap.
what should
The
be out in the
safety
water.
and seat backs must be in a
On a
full
nice little
upright launch
island.
position for departure.
As a lot of
Flight
these
attendants,
airports
please
seem to be,
prepare
because
cabin
that's
for
the only way they can
departure
get the
and
space
cross
for them. I'm going to close my chart and reopen it, see if it loads everything back up nicely. It has. It's very annoying. Alright. Now I did hear Kevin there. Just going to do a radio check. I'm not sure what his call was. Unfortunately, Kevin, sorry I wasn't paying much attention. Hiroshima Terminal Skyways 5556 radio check.
Right, effects for me for 100 couple of
5 by as well.
Thank you.
Alright, so we're up there and we are good. So, carrying on altimeters, we're going to set them to 3021. Come down to the barrow. It's rather high pressure. We have clear skies, so that makes some sense. 3021 is set and cross-checked. And is set in the standby. We'll come up top. We'll just do some final checks here. I'll make sure the crew oxygen is on. Electricals are in fault. That's fine. Pitot heat will come on after the engines have started, along with the packs in the back. Again, there's no APU on this aircraft, so we have to do it all manually. off of the batteries or the AP ground power unit, as we have hooked up right now. Bit more bags to go. Hoping we're going to get a nice sunrise as we come into Nagasaki. Days are getting longer and we're heading further south, so should run into that very shortly. Alright, weather radar is going to go into standby. And start warming. And as soon as those bags are on board, we are good to fire up. We're starting to look at the new A300, and hopefully we'll be seeing that soon on a series. Got to get to grips with that and get some of the kinks worked out with it. We're back again tomorrow. We're back flying in our tour of Canada. We'll be leaving the northernmost point up in Inqualuk, heading out to where are we going? Is it Gander? I think we're heading out to. Let me just take a look. No, we're going to Goose Bay tomorrow. So it'll be a nice flight out of the Arctic area, heading to Goose Bay, and still got a lot of flying in the east coast of Canada to do on that series, and we're flying the 737-600. Should be a good flight. There's the last of the bags.
Hiroshima traffic concert 19 stand 1, taxiing 2, holding my tango 1, number 285 Papa.
See, it's kind of unfair when you do all that stuff before I can get in and start doing mine. But that's fine. Alright, so we'll get the tail prop in, we'll get the main door closed, cargo door can now close, we'll get the wheel chocks pulled, ground power is still connected, and we are in parking brake. Right, before engine start check, power management is set to take off, flight directors are on both sides, radios are set, trims, we want 1.1 on our trim. 1.1 is set. Transponder is set. We'll turn that on now. And we can head up here. Terrain. And we're going to go back up to comm. Leave you over here in nav. And we're good. So doors are all closed. Chocks are removed. Take a look down here and we are good for engine start. So fuel pump coming on. We're going to go crank A and B, and we're going to start engine 2. Engine 2 starting. Adding fuel.
For a safety demonstration.
Alright, we're up and
When
spinning.
the seatbelt light
We've got
is
the
on,
beacon.
please make sure that
That's fine. Beacon light's now on.
to one another. Tighten by pulling on the
The wing
loose end of
light's
the
on as
strap.
well. Alright. We have a good start on
Not
engine
on.
2.
We suggest
So
that
engine
you
1,
use
fuel
seatbelt
pump is on.
fastened in case of unexpected turbulence. Please take a few
Starting
moments to
engine number 1. You waited. You didn't wait long enough. Alright, there we go. Starting engine number 1. You can see they're counter-rotating. It's pretty cool. Takes care of the issue with the gyroscopic torque off of them spinning the same way.
If you're traveling with children, now's the time to pick your favorite one, but secure your mask and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the event that the
All right,
pilot
we have
decides
both
to
engines
take
up and
a
running.
swim,
Ground
a
power
fashionable life vest is
can
located in a
disconnect.
pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so,
We're just
open
gonna
the
pop
plastic
up
pouch
top.
and remove the vest. Slip it over your head.
Engine
Drop the
start
straps
switch
around
can
your
go
waist and buckle
to
up the vest.
off.
Pull the strap to tighten. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpieces for manual inflation.
All right.
Each vest is equipped with a whistle and light.
Takeoff data, we're
If
going to be
necessary,
climbing
this could
all the way up
be used as a
to
secondary
flight level
Bluetooth device.
200, so we'll get
Please
that in.
securely stow all personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are all in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight, and that
It's gonna
includes
take a minute.
vaping. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is strictly prohibited by law.
200
All of
is
this
set.
information and more can be found in the
We're going to be
safety
going
card
off on
located in the
indicated
seat back in
airspeed
front of you.
and
We suggest reading this and let us know if you
initially
have any
on
questions.
vertical speed. We'll
Thank you
set
for
that
flying
when we
with
get
us,
to the
and
runway.
we hope you
It's
enjoy
all
your
done.
flight.
Landing elevation is set to automatic. That's all good. Seatbelt signs are on, and we're all set there. And we'll turn on our probes now. Make sure they're all on. And we are set. It's just the low power. That's fine. We'll get those up in a second. All right, let's bring the engines up to auto. You can hear them spooling up.
Vegetation traffic complex 19, we're taking this runway. Question of position 28 for the Mark 2.
There we go. We're up and going. So we're going to come over here. We're going to set we need to go to a 20-mile arc. I want the rows. We'll go 10 for takeoff. That's 10. Alright, up top once again, we'll have to play with our power settings and just edge it slightly to get those to come up on the hydraulics and the wild, but everything else is looking good. So we're going to come down now to our taxi light. Hiroshima area traffic. Skyways 5556 taxiing to runway 28 via the apron and Papa hold short Tango 1. Alright, so we're going to pop the power up slightly until we get rid of the indicators there. There we
We're
go.
ready for departure.
And the cabin is ready. And we'll release the brakes. We'll get the aircraft to spin around.
Vegetation traffic complex 2300 Mark 2.
Dome light off. I think Kevin said he was going to use Tango 2. I've got enough room to do that. Alright, there's our taxi line.
Note the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above you.
is Papa Taxiway. At least it'll give us some decent spacing. It looks like he's already up. Missed his takeoff. Apparently he's got somewhere he needs to be. Rushing out. But we're all good. We'll work our way down now. So, fuel pumps are all confirmed. On, prop brakes off, start mode. We're good. That when we started there, hydraulics are good. Flaps, we're going to set takeoff flaps, which is going to be 1 notch. Flaps are moving into position now. Do our anti-skid test. Anti-skid. It's good. Flight controls, we are still under gust lock. I'm going to remove the gust lock. Free and career, correct. Alright, that's the gust lock removed and it pushed forward a little bit more on the throttles. I want to make sure I don't go back too far or else I'm going to lose my hydraulics and electrics again. Yeah, well that's what you get for starting too early. You know it takes me time. I mean, I allow 45 minutes, so I'm heading out almost 15 minutes early. So for the autopilot, we're going to go vertical speed mode. We're going to be aiming 1,000 feet per minute. And we're going to be in vertical speed initially. We'll go IAS once we're airborne. But we will be in nav mode, we'll arm that. There's T2, we're going down to T1. So pre-departure configuration check. We will come down here, do our config check. What does it look like? Flight controls. That's off, that's set, that's set. Oh, probably because I'm under power at the moment. Power management is confirmed. Takeoff speeds we're all set there. FCP is set, nav data, radios are all set. Check fuel quantity is checked. Heater lights are good. I got flaps set. That's good. Flight controls are good. See if everything moves when they're supposed to. Okay, I think we're slightly going uphill here, so actually this end is 5 feet lower than the other end, but it felt like we were going uphill. As long as our lights stay on, we got enough power going. Alright, there's 28. Come to a stop. Do that config check one more time. I don't know what's indicating there, so that's fine. I'm gonna ignore it. We are good. So, landing lights are on, strobe lights are on. Transponder is you get weather, traffic, we're good. Make sure it's on, is on. Automatic auto torque is set on both engines, clock, and runway. All right. Hiroshima area traffic, Skyways 5556, take position runway 28. No, I got my trim set. Oh, did it go the wrong way? It went the wrong way. Ah, good call, Kevin. Thank you very much. That was the warning. I pushed the trim the wrong way. See? I know there's a reason I have you fly along. We are lined up. Brakes are set. We're going to bring the engines up to notch. Both engines are in takeoff. Down to the clock. Clock is running. Hiroshima area traffic, Skyways 5556 departing, runway 28 on the Mark 02 departure. Brakes released. Airspeed's live. Knots. Back pressure. There we go. Hey, no tail strike. Positive rate. Gear up. And there we go, flying out towards the city and the bay. Been there. Lovely place, lovely city. Autopilot on, nav mode, and vertical speed. Flaps up. We're going to go indicated airspeed. We're going to go up to 170. That will be our climb speed. As we come out, we can shut off our taxi lights, our wing lights, and our logos. We'll zoom out slightly there. There's an island when you get out into the bay here. We'll get down a little bit further when you see it. It's a religious island with a shrine and everything. It's very famous. A lot of photographs taken of the Torii Gate where you enter in. Somewhere I've got a picture of me standing out there at low tide beside the gate. Looks pretty cool. So I think it's that island right there, actually. So after takeoff checklist, we're at positive rate, gear is up, gear is retracted, lights are out, flaps are retracted and 0. Power management, we will now set to climb. Autopilot is on, yaw damper is on. And we are climbing out. So we're now heading down to south of the city and down towards the bay. A lot of mountains in the area. And again, a very beautiful place to visit. We have a flight time of 1 hour and 9 minutes on today's flight. Checking a few things. We're looking good. So it's expecting us to reach 20,000 feet before Marco. We'll see if that actually happens. Have TCAS on standby. We'll put it to auto. Doing 1,100 feet per minute. Again, very illuminated area here. Once again, hoping to get some nice sunrise views here from the aircraft. There's the water and the island starting to come in over there. And there's 8,000 feet. We'll see how she does climbing up to 20. I usually try to bump them down a little bit, but we'll see if she can handle climbing all the way up there today. So if you haven't seen the series from the start, we're flying from the northern tip of Japan down to the southern tip. And of course, being a chain of islands, we started on a small island just...
Flight 190, overhead medical, final call for Hiroshima.
We started on an island north of Sapporo, or Honshū Island, up in the north end. And we're flying I think it's Honshu, we're flying all the way to the southernmost island in Japan as well. So we'll be going down here, down through the island south, down through Okinawa, and all the way down. And it's quite the spread. It's long enough that you can be wintry up in the north and be tropical down in the south at the same time. First Officer Molly is curled up right behind my chair, so I got to be careful not to push back into her. Well, ground speed of 173. We got a bit of a wind that we're climbing into. There's 10,000 feet. So we will release the landing lights, and we'll let the people move around in the back if they want.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatory.
Clear off the procedures. We don't use them anyway.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you do in case of unexpected turbulence.
Alright, everything is looking good. Get the weather radar on. We can switch over now. We don't need the terrain radar on. Roger, do the comms. We'll keep this on here. Alright, so this is where it thinks we're going to get there. This is where we're actually going to get there, if that. We'll see as we climb up. We got 8,000 feet to go, and we're down to 800 feet per minute. Taking a quick look outside. Very nice early morning here in Japan. Looking eastwards. No light on the horizon yet. Hopefully we'll get it as we come into Nagasaki. So we're back on our regular schedule, a modified regular schedule. We're going to try to wrap up the 3 series we have currently running, which is the Tour of Japan, the Tour of Canada, and the U.S. Capitals Tour. Once those 3 are wrapped up, we'll be running a new series Monday to Friday, minus Thursday, which is our non-streaming day. And we will be starting that one over in Europe, heading from Europe down through Africa. We'll be in the old classic aircraft, the DC-6, and it should make for an interesting series of flights. Once we start doing that, on Saturdays we're going to be running short-haul cargo operations out of Stansted Airport in England. We're going to be using the 737 freighter. And then on the Sundays, we'll be flying the 747-8 freighter, finishing up the Formula 1 series. We got about 4 or 5 legs left to do on that one, including this Sunday coming up. We're flying from Sao Paulo, Brazil, up to Las Vegas, Nevada. That should be a long flight there. On those long ones also we split the stream, so we'll stream the takeoff and then end it once we're in cruise, and then when I come back we'll start the stream again, and we'll do the briefing and our arrival and approach and landing into our destination. Everything is looking good. Again, we're doing an RNAV, so we don't have to worry about the ILS. This does handle RNAVs very well. Ground speed now of 179, still flying. The wind's getting a little bit stronger. About 5,000 feet to go. this is the ATR72-600, and they've done some work on it since it was first released. It's actually fairly decent now, and I am enjoying flying it here. We'll see it again. There's the places in Europe we'll be flying it. Not in the Topa Sky livery, which is our Australia, New Zealand livery in the Pacific, but probably in our Highland Connect, which is our Scottish livery. And we'll see what happens with it as we cruise around doing some more flights in there. There you go. Through 15,000 feet, slowly working our way up. Yeah, not sure why it did that. 20,000. I thought I'd set it to run a lower value. Let me just check the airframe. Yeah, I told it to go 2,000 feet lower than it wants to do. I guess it wanted me at 22,000. Anyway, we'll set standard pressure. Are currently 1 mile from Marco. Hiroshima area traffic skyways 5556 overhead Marco, flight level 164 climbing 200, last call Hiroshima area. There we go. So we're going to fly along the edge of the bay. Let's see if we can see it out here. Edge of the bay here. Heading down towards the west coast. This is a very narrow strip here, and if I'm right, this is another island down here that we're heading towards. So there's actually a sea passage that goes through, and then we're going to be turning in down towards Nagasaki, which is on the western edge. And I believe the island's another one of these island airports that they've built up. A 40 knot wind now. So I've done a bunch of Dash 8 flights, 100s, 300s, Q400s, but have not done the ATR yet. So this is an aircraft I have not been in real life. $2,300 feet to go. 19,000 feet. Nearly in 4 minutes we will be at cruise. The thing about this, you leave the throttles and notch the entire way down. I find I don't have to move them out until we get to until we're descending, so they're just left there. They're talking about bringing the conditions back to levers back to FTR and descent to help with the descent, which I can see, but I don't really find I need to until I'm on my approach. Can usually plan out far enough that we're good for the descent. Top of descent's already showing less than 80 miles. Not going to be in cruise long. We're down to 400 feet per minute. And let's see if we can get us up there a little bit quicker. I'll bring that down to 165. Don't want to go any slower than that. It's 1,000 to go. And I do like it brings in the aircraft type and the registration. That is correct. That is the aircraft I'm flying. ZK-ATU, New Zealand registered aircraft. Alright, so we're not showing any weather. I mean, we do have the weather radar on, as we can see here. But it is clear skies. We're going to switch back over to terrain, and there you can see we're going to head out over. There's the oh, it's got a message from another Skyways. Skyways 594. Oh, he's up in South Korea. I thought it was ATC coming online. I'm going, whoa, how could ATC be coming online? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning in Japan right now. Some town lights, city lights. And we're coming up to our 1,000 foot per minute, or our 20,000 feet for our cruise. We're in alt star mode. Speed is starting to pick up. We're in cruise, so we're going to switch over to cruise power settings.
Complimentary and premium drinks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note that we only accept credit cards.
And we're starting to accelerate. Accelerating now up to our cruise speed. All right. So we don't have a long cruise. Our top of descent is just after Akti, and we're going to be heading down on the last part of our in cruise, and then we'll be switching over to our arrival. So the other Skyways is doing Gatwick to Osaka. So he's got a long flight. Said that was an 11 and a half hour flight for him. Sunday's flight for us is almost 12 hours, so alright. So just having a little text chat with him on the company channel. He's flying the 787-900. So our ground speed is up to 218, but we got a 47 knot wind, almost 20 degrees off the nose, so that's going to be slowing us down slightly. As you can see, our true air speed of 263 and our ground speed of only 219, so it's a 41 knot headwind or forward speed reduction due to the wind, and we're crabbing slightly, as you can see by the magenta needle here. So no nav aids we have to worry about. It's all going to be FMC driven. And we can check our fuel. Fuel is good. So we're about 55 miles or so from top of descent. I just noticed our fuel is not moving. We come over here to our payload. I don't know if it will show. See, that's our loaded fuel. Still showing 2020, and I doubt we've only used 400 kilos of fuel, or oh, maybe. Let's see, it said we should burn 770. Oh, maybe we have. Okay, so it's not showing. It's showing the usage, but it's not updating the fuel on board. Oh, that's weird. It should be doing that. OG is where we switch over to our arrival. So since we're coming up towards our top of descent and it's not that far away, we can start looking at some of the information we need. So OG, Glover, Otaxa, and Saruk are our nav points for the arrival. We have a transition altitude of 140, which is fine. That is standard. You can see the route we will be flying from here, and then we head off this way on our arrival. For the RNAV itself, we are looking at a final intercept altitude of 1,500 feet. And that will bring us all the way in. So minimums for our aircraft will be 290 feet. So we're going to switch over to MDA and we'll go 290. And that should say MDA, it does. So that is set over on that side. Local weather, we can get that now as well, see if there's been an update. There has been an update. We're using RJFF, which is quite a ways away. Let's see if we can get anything more accurate in here. Let's get our destination weather, 2912. Yeah, 140 at 3 kilometer below 1024. That's pretty close to what I'm showing on my other thing. So 1024. Don't believe we can. Yeah, we can't quite set that in yet. So 1024. I'll just make a note so we have it available. All right. We're 30 minutes into the flight. We're about 18 miles from top of descent. So 1,500 feet. We have some restrictions on the way down. We go into our plane here. We'll be able to see a couple of them. So like if we go to Glover, we're above 7,000, which is correct. And that no depth, it's 1,500 feet, which is our intercept. So that is all looking very good, and our restrictions are all entered in. So if we come over to over here and look out, there's the channel that runs between the islands is here. So we're passing now from this island to this island. There's the shipping channel through there, one of the busiest shipping channels in this region of the world. And then we'll be on the next island, and we're heading down to Nagasaki. All right, looking good. And you can see our path now coming in nicely. So we are going to dial in our altitude down to 1,500 feet. And we'll hold 200 knots on our descent. As we go down, we'll let the aircraft bring us down as per the restrictions. before we get there, we'll go VNav, and it will set up to follow the path. Kevin should be heading down. Well, he's not quite down yet. Still at 20,000 feet. Don't know if he came back or not. Guess we'll find out if he continues flying off to Taiwan. It's a pretty populated area, Fukuoka. A lot of cities around here. I know somebody from Fukuoka. Or families from there anyway.
Nagasaki 78, come back to one side, currently overhead, OZ, relief 7200 down to 1,500, rebel up to OZ, arrival.
There he is. Which arrival are you doing, Kevin? Fubuki? I'm doing Saruku. Alright, let's confirm that. Let's get our views back. There we go. Alright. So we're 18 miles from top of descent. Once we start down, we'll get the seatbelt signs on again, let the cabin crew get the cabin ready for our arrival into Nagasaki. Fuel burn is up to 480. It said 799, so yeah, we're not doing too bad on the fuel burn. We're expected to be arriving in 57 minutes, so I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Not too much, but a slight bit. I wish the fuel on board should be changing though. That's a little annoying. That is not doing it. I don't have any manual fuel gauges or analog gauges. Huh. Anyway, I think Kevin said he was over OG, so he's quite far out ahead of me. Are you going for the other runway then? Or are you still going 1-4? Are you going, is it 3-2? Yeah, 3-2. You're gonna be landing with a tailwind. And runway length is 9,800 feet, so not too bad. I think the thumbnail said Amura, but the Amura airport's on the mainland. We're kind of sitting off on the water at the main Nagasaki one. So they got two airports side by side. Oh, okay, you're doing. I was gonna do that, but then I switched it around to the shorter one. Okay, you're looping around the bay. Alright, 10 miles to top of descent, cruising at 199 knots. We have a ground speed of 227 with a 45 knot headwind. Yeah, about 40 once it's converted down because it's a slight off. But you see where we're headed here, down on the coast to over here. Then we're going to cut back across the mainland, down across the island, and then we're going to be coming in around there. are just a couple miles out now. So as soon as we hit ACT, I'll activate VNAV. So 3 miles to go. Not seeing any color in the sky yet. Hopefully we'll see it when we land, and that way we know we're starting to get closer to it. There's a mile to go. We'll activate now. We're going to be doing a slight descent at about 500 feet. There's our first restriction. There's pulling in the top of the descent marker now. Down we go. Alright, we're going to bring the speed back. We don't want to be over speeding. Try to keep it around that 200 mark. And we'll get the seatbelt signs on in the back.
Please return to your seat as the seatbelt sign is now on.
Alright, there's our turn towards Oji. And Oji, we have to be at above 11,000. And that's our restriction right there, flight level 110. 14,000 transition. Since we're going to be going through there, we'll set our barrel of current 1024. Hey, Robin Dunn, hello. Welcome to the stream. So 1024 is set and cross-checked. I'm going to bring in our range 40 miles. We'll make our first call out over OG. And there's our speed at 199. Perfect. Yeah, there are. Well, you must have flown over Patty.
Nagasaki 600 currently overhead Obama. We are at flight 300 foot inbound for the R914 by Cosmo.
I like the way they don't have numbers on their approaches too. They're just names. Like you're on the Fubuki. The Fubuki arrival, that's all it is. I'm on the Saruku. So, it's interesting. They do it differently over here. Yeah, I know you did. I'm looking at the chart. Alright. So we're going to leave the power set in cruise mode until we get onto our approach, and then we'll switch it back over to the climb. Anyway, we got the destination weather. Just take a ride with that. It's set check nav data matches the star, and it is what we expect. Automatic torque, we're going to leave on, as I mentioned. No need to play with that. We are good. Radios are set. Engine anti-ice, wing anti-ice. Not required. A little bit of cloud, but it's okay out. FCP was all set up the way we want it. We're on the RNAV. We've set our minimum approach, which is the final point in on the arrival. Actually, if we look at, we could probably set it for our minimums. So if we set it for 300, actually let's go 500 feet. That's where we normally take over anyway. That'll take us down to that point. Landing elevation is automatic. We'll bring it in. Minimums are set. We have 290 minimum descent altitude. Missed approach. Direct to FU 451 and right turn to Kono, hold 3,000 feet. So we're going to go 3,000 feet. It'll be a direct out to FU 451 and a about 170 degree turn, and then heading out to Kono, which is right there. You just see it coming in on the chart there, or on the ND. Altimeters we've switched over. We're now coming up to transition altitude anyway. And yeah, looking very nice. Another quick look outside as we're descending down. This is some scattered clouds. It's looking good. Again, over the heavily populated area here. And we're going to be heading down across the mountains again out to the west coast and then landing. Okay, Robin, no need to spam the emojis. We see you there. Not sure exactly what you're saying either. You're looking at a helicopter with flashing lights. Not quite a helicopter. It's an ATR. Alright, we should have good spacing when we get there. It's 12,000 feet coming up. We've died down to 28 knot headwind, so winds are starting to come back. We're going to be making that turn back into the wind as we come down towards the coastline here, and some other islands off the coast. And again, you can see we've got a little bit of a crab angle going on to deal with the wind, which is coming around a little bit more to the right. 12,000 feet, 209 knots, so we're speeding up slightly. We'll get that power back. You can see it just edging it into idle. She like instantly drops like crazy. So I'm going to see if I can get one in idle, one in manual low power, and see if that'll help hold her. At 200. There's our turn.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the back pocket or under the seat.
Nagasaki area traffic, Skyways 5556, overhead OG descending through 11,200 feet, inbound on the Saruku arrival, RNAV 14 Nagasaki. Alright, let's zoom in one more time. Get her down to a 20-mile view here. I'll bump you out to 40, just like keep my situational awareness going. 7,000 is the next restriction, which is correct. That's at Glover, then it's 4,000 at Otaxa, and then 3,700 at Sarok. Alright, 10,000 feet coming up, so landing lights will come on, wing lights and strobes will come on as well. We'll ding the back. No, that's 10,000 feet. Actually, you can do it that way. We're heading down to 500 feet, which at what point I will take over and we should come in for a nice landing. Airport is just over here on the water. Alright, speed's holding at 204. We don't have any speed restrictions yet. Maximum of 230 at Saruk. Obviously, we're not going to be going that fast. Just 9,000. So when we land, we're going to be departing to the left, and we're going to be looking at parking over on gate 12 today. Actually, let's make it gate 10. Gate 10 for us today. See if we bring that speed back to 185.
No, we're running in direct to the RMS 4.
Start slowing her down a little bit. 185, we can drop flaps first notch. Obviously, we don't want to come into that 90-degree turn going too fast. We'll try to see if we get the speed down to about 180. System is suggesting 165. I think you just see some flashing lights ahead of me. I think that is Kevin. Yep, I can see his aircraft lights as he's turning in towards the runway. Alright, we're down around 180. We're going to go flaps 1. There's our barber pole. The engine's up to keep our speed up. We'll try to keep 175 to 180. And it looks like Kevin has turned for the runway. I don't know if we can make him out there, but he's right there. Airport's over here. Coming in nicely. That's not what I wanted. Thank you. I want that, and I want that. 10 miles. Speed's 180.
Nagasaki traffic contact 1 meter 40 established on the RNAV runway 14, correct 7 decimal 2 miles out.
Alright. So we actually caught up towards the end here. Of course, he went the other way. Alright, we got to reduce speed, so we're going to bring our speed back. Get her down to that 165. We'll start following the indicators as we come in. We're going to be landing at about 105 or so. We look at our landing speed, our V approach of 120. Landing speed will be about let's go around 107. Landing speed will be about 100, but we're going to come in at about 110 or so. Alright, here's 165. Try to hold it here, 165. There's our runway. I'm not sure if that's ours or not. There is multiple airports in the area. Looks like it's out on the water, so it probably is ours. Heading off towards our turn point. Still descending. Yeah, I can see Kevin going in there. There's the tower. Alright, approach mode is armed. Final approach path set. Watching that speed. Yeah, airport is on an island out in the bay. Very nice, very scenic. Not sure why I'm in pitch hold. Back on VNAV path, and we'll try that again. There's the turn. Nagasaki area traffic, Skyways 5556 over Tenbo, turning inbound for the RNAV runway 14 Nagasaki.
And Nagasaki contact 1 clear of 14 at Tango 3.
So we've made the turn. We have lights are on. Cabin is notified. We're going to start bringing the speed back. Below 150, we'll go flaps. Hello, Brett. We'll go to flaps 2, which is our full landing flaps. So we want to get it down to 150. And we're on VFP, tracking inbound now. Speed's coming back. There's 150, 149, flaps full. Gear down. Speed's going to come back. We're going to try to bring her back down to 120. Let her stabilize. And then ease her back to about 110 for our approach and about 107 for our landing. Alright, everything is looking good. A little bit of cloud cover, but we're below it, so we'll be fine. It's 1,000 to go. Oh, thanks, Brett. We're just about to land in Nagasaki. And that's about a 4-mile final. Nagasaki area traffic, Skyways 5556, 4-mile final, RNAV 14. Secret with this thing, because of the low body and the clearance, is do not flare. It's 115. See if we can get her coming down towards that 110. .600 feet. There's 110 coming up. 500 feet. I have control. Well, Brett, that's the best time is takeoff and landing. In cruise, it's kind of boring. All right, here we go. 110. Engines are good. We're on path. We're slightly low, but that's fine. We're going visual now. Got a little push of the wind. Let's get the over slightly. We want 109 as our reference. So we don't want to get below 110 too much. There's 108. A little bit of power.
200. Minimum.
Continue. We got about 104 to 100 for our
100.
ref.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
All right, we are down. Reverser's on. Knots. Reverser's off. Manual brakes. We're going to tax or let her roll to Tango 3. That was Tango 4 we just went past.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 6:03 a.m. and it's currently about 7 degrees Celsius.
So 6:03, the sun's not rising yet, so hopefully we'll see something as we head a little bit further south.
Stop and the seatbelt sign
Get
is
those
turned
sunrise
off.
takeoffs.
Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. We thank you for flying with us.
All right, here's Tango 3. This is where we're going to exit the runway. Go. Nagasaki Air Traffic Skyways 5556 clear, runway 14, Tango 3, taxiing gate 10, Nagasaki. Alright, let's park up for a second. We'll get the flaps up, landing lights can come off, taxi light will go on, wing lights will come off, strobes will come off. There's Kevin sitting over there. There's that issue with the engines. Let's get a little bit of power up. There we go. Get the hydraulics back. We'll give me 10. Hey, ramp 10. There we go. Yeah, they can work it. All right, let's head over. Again, usually in the ATRs, I shut down one engine and taxi down one, but I find that in the sim, it becomes kind of uncontrollable when you do that. Alright, so we're going to come in here. There's going to be a number of spots. Starts at 14. So this should be 14. It is, and it's 12, 11, and then 10. There's 12, Kevin's an 11, and I'm going to go to 10. A little bit closer. There it is. There's signs on the side on the other side as well. Alright, we'll make the turn. And while we're doing that, we'll kill the light. There's Kevin's aircraft over there. I thought you were FedEx. Isn't that the screenshot you sent me? That don't look FedEx. That's ASL. Alright, there's our guy. And here we are. Alright, so brakes are now set. Oh, I forgot to set takeoff power. Oh well. Alright, we're going to bring the engines back to FTR now. Let them start to wind down. And while that's happening, we can come over to the aircraft. We'll get them to hook up the ground power. And we'll pop up top. Ground power is now on. And we can shut her down. And there we go. Beacon can come off. We'll leave the nav and logo lights on. Dome light can come on for a little bit of illumination. And get the doors, and we'll get the chocks in place. And deboarding can start.
Deboarding requested.
FedEx here is run by ASL Airline. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, where's my
Passenger's bus is coming.
Oh, I thought I already had it on. There we go. That's better. Alright, power up the airplane. Alright, that's us here in Nagasaki. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 1400 Zulu. We're going to be carrying on with our tour of Canada as we leave in Kuala. Thanks for watching. Kevin, thanks for flying along. Everybody who came and watched the stream, thank you very much. We're back tomorrow. As I said, throw a like, hit subscribe on your way out the door. Throw in a comment. Hey, it's all good. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.